Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. After my last video my life got a bit hectic. I don't feel like going into detail, but in the midst of everything that happened, I just wasn't happy with the direction I was taking my 1,020th comeback. I have delisted those videos and will be moving them to the Chatzu archive eventually. I will try to keep making videos this time, and hopefully get back to the pace I used to make them at. To the few of my subscribers who still care, thank you for putting up with me and my inconsistent channel. To any new subscribers I may gain, welcome to the show. Chatzu, signing out. Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. This will be my first ever video about Doctor Who, and it will be short, as I didn't plan on making it, and want to get this typed out while this episode is still fresh in my mind. This video will also not contain spoilers for this episode, though I plan on making a prediction video sometime soon that will. Also, if you are not familiar with the basics of Doctor Who, this video will not help with that. The Doctor Falls is the last episode before the inevitable regeneration of the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. It is also the second to last episode that will be written by current showrunner Stephen Moffat. The next one being the Christmas special. As such, a lot was riding on this episode being good, and I'm happy to say that Moffat didn't drop the ball in the second act this time, as I feel had become the standard. A few lines here or there got a bit SJWE, but the story was good enough that I could easily overlook that. In this episode, the Doctor fights to save a group of humans on the ship from the previous episode from a Cyberman attack. He also has to deal with the uncertainty of the Master and Missy. Not to mention Bill now being a Cyberman. It's hard to say what makes this episode so great without going any further than that. But suffice it to say, the last half of the episode packs one hell of an emotional punch. The last scene I'm sure will make the internet explode, and now we all have to wait until Christmas with that in our heads. Part of me wants to avoid the reveal of the new Doctor so it will be a surprise, but another part of me knows this is the internet, and fat chance of that. In short, great episode, can't wait for Christmas. Not sure when this will be up, hopefully not too long after the episode airs. I'm working on a slew of new videos that will require me to relearn editing, and those are taking priority. Wish me luck. Chatzu, signing out. Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. I'm sure everyone has heard about the CNN meme incident by now. I was considering whether or not to make a video about this, and might not have, but then I had a conversation with someone that made me ask, was what CNN did technically blackmail, like so many have been saying? I want to come at this from the perspective of purely looking for the facts, although I'm sure some people will still consider me biased. After all, this is the internet. In the admittedly brief amount of research I did, I have seen conflicting reports as to whether Han Solo was contacted before or after his apology. Han himself has come out and said he was not coerced, although that seems a bit fishy to me and many other people. Let's say for the sake of argument that they didn't. Does the statement they put out about reserving the right to reveal Han's identity still count as blackmail? Let's actually look at the definition of blackmail. Definition 1. A tribute anciently exacted on the Scottish order by plundering chiefs in exchange for immunity from pillage. That is not exactly what we are looking for. Definition 2. Extortion or coercion, by threats especially of public exposure or criminal prosecution. Looks like the coercion by threat of public exposure is the part to focus on. I admit that I am no legal expert, but that seems to fit what CNN did. The person I discussed the matter with seemed to be under the impression that due to Gohan giving the apology before CNN's statement, it did not count as blackmail. As we have seen, however, the definition does not require any such stipulation. If I am wrong about any of this, please let me know in the comments. I am aware that I am opening myself up to troll posts by saying that, but I would like to keep things to a civil conversation if at all possible. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I honestly don't care about being proven to not know what I'm talking about, so long as I can arrive at the truth. Also, if you want me to look at conflicting info, please provide a source. I will leave you all with that. Chatzu, signing out. Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. My big videos are taking time, so I will go ahead and do my Doctor Who predictions video. I have not read any press releases, so if any of this has been confirmed, I am not aware, nor do I want to be until Christmas. Spoiler warning. At the end of The Doctor Falls, the 12th Doctor met the first Doctor. It looks to me like this is just before the first Doctor regenerates in the 10th planet. My guess is that interacting with one will make 12 okay with turning into someone new, and that one will become more okay with who he will become through interacting with 12. This may be a long shot, but I hope they visit Susan at some point. I have read in the past that Carol Ann Ford would be okay with coming back. This would not only be nice for giving closure to that great William Hartnell speech about coming back one day, but also to that scene where the Doctor had a picture of Susan on his desk in the first episode of this series. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Toss some predictions down in the comments. Chatzu, signing out. Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. So there I was last night, getting ready to go to sleep, when suddenly I noticed a new episode of Twin Peaks was out. Lucky for me I have been so busy with planning my comeback, to notice 2 weeks had passed since episode 8. This video will be fairly short. After all, how do you explain a Twin Peaks episode without just saying everything that happens? You basically have to spoil it. Due to this, I will just say that if you like more plot development and less episode 8, you will be satisfied. If I have time I will marathon the whole season once it is done, as it is meant to play like one long David Lynch movie. Keep these episodes coming, you old kook. Chatzu, signing out. Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. Back in the day, I pretty much made my channel on Dragon Ball Z, from music videos to DVD reviews. Funny thing is, for a while there I lost interest. Not just in Dragon Ball, but in anime altogether. It's kind of a thing with me. I go through patches where I get obsessed with certain things, often at the expense of the last thing I was into. This usually sees me jumping from movies, to TV, to video games. At the time Dragon Ball Super was announced, I was happy about the idea of more Dragon Ball, but didn't care enough to actually keep up with it. I watched Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F soon after they came out. Not of my own accord, but rather because friends of mine sat me down and showed them to me. I liked them both for the most part, and will probably give my thoughts on each at some point. My enjoyment of them was not enough to make Super a must-watch, however, especially after I found out the first two arcs were just retellings of those movies. To be honest, I'm not sure what got me back into it. Perhaps it was me deciding to go all out with bringing this channel back. Perhaps it was just me getting my craving for anime back. Maybe it was both of those things happening at the same time. Regardless, I'm glad this craving is back. I was originally going to go episode by episode, giving my thoughts on each. As things turned out, I binged the first 14 episodes, covering the Battle of the Gods arc, and have decided that until I am caught up, I will review each arc instead. The first arc covers the story from Battle of the Gods. Soon after the end of Dragon Ball Z, or rather, before the time jump at the end of Z, the god of destruction, Lord Beerus, awakens from a 39-year sleep. Before he had gone to sleep, he was told that in 39 years he would find a warrior who could rival him. This warrior was known as a Super Saiyan God. Beerus, along with his attendant Whis, seek out this Super Saiyan God. Eventually this leads them to Goku, who fights Beerus on King Kai's planet. Despite powering up to Super Saiyan 3, Goku is easily defeated. Beerus and Whis, figuring Goku is not who they are looking for, head to Earth. Meanwhile Alma is throwing a birthday party for herself on a luxury liner, and the usual suspects of Dragon Ball are in attendance, including a reluctant Vegeta. Beerus and Whis show up at the party, and for a while everything goes smoothly. Unfortunately, and despite Vegeta's best efforts, Beerus gets angry and wants to destroy Earth. While Earth's defenders make a valiant effort to stop Beerus, it ultimately culminates in Goku showing up to tap into a new power and save the day. Sort of. I have conflicting opinions about Super so far. In some ways it's a great continuation of Z, or as much as it can be, since we know everything will turn out okay in the end, due to the Z time skip. In other ways, it is a massive disappointment. Let's jump straight to the elephant in the room. The first 4 episodes have some good, sometimes great, animation. Even episode 5 starts promising enough, but from the moment of the first punch Goku makes at Beerus, it became very apparent something had gone seriously wrong. I'm not going to insult the animators, as I am well aware of the ridiculous time constraints they were under. I'm just going to say that it shows in the final product. Episodes 5 through 9 are the problem areas, not all bad, but extremely inconsistent, sometimes within the same scene. Episode 14 does not have great artwork, but makes up for it with the animation and choreography. Some parts of the story also seem off to me. For instance, Vegeta seems to have regressed since his big "you're better than me Kakarot" speech in Z. He is now back to his usual "I'm going to be the strongest" attitude. I suppose things like that would not make a lot of fans happy, but at the same time I want these characters to grow. Also, I'm not a fan of how we seem to be back to the Goku show, featuring some other non-important characters. Also, what was up with that lingering crotch shot of Vegeta in episode 14? Despite my complaints, I did enjoy this arc. There are some good moments of action, the humor is on point, and overall it's a fun ride. Not quite on the same level as Z, but closer to how I like my Dragon Ball than GT. Looking forward to watching more. Chatzu, signing out. Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. Before I start, I want to give a channel update. For the time being I will try to make one big video a week, and smaller videos like this in between, depending on if there is something I want to give my thoughts on. The more I try to rush, the more things seem to go wrong. Anyway, the BBC dropped a bombshell. Jodie Whittaker will be the 13th Doctor Who. Before any Whovians get onto me about my phrasing, both the Doctor and Doctor Who are correct ways of saying it. Try watching some classic Who for once. So, yeah, the Doctor is a woman. The internet seems to be losing its collective mind over this. Some are excited while others feel like this is a play at social justice points. Personally, I fall somewhere in the middle. I am not familiar with Jodie Whittaker, but I have heard great things about the show Broadchurch. And considering she will be reteaming with that showrunner, there could be great things ahead. At the same time, the SJW part of this is something I can't ignore. Season 10 had more than a few moments that set off my pandering alarm. Thankfully it was kept to a minimum and did not affect the overall story. As long as the stories don't focus on the fact that the Doctor is a woman and just tell great stories with a Doctor who just happens to be a woman, then I am hopeful. Not that I don't think they should acknowledge it. Worked out okay for the Master, but I just don't want them doing something like having the Doctor meet Joan of Arc and shoving their fists in the air yelling girl power. I just want good sci-fi. I don't think that's too much to ask. I wish everyone involved the best of luck. I am rooting for the show to be great. Let's go 13 for 13 and beyond. Chatzu signing out. Hello YouTube, Chatzu here. Wanted to do this video with my real voice, but my webcam mic was the only one I can get to work, and I'm not a fan of the audio quality that thing puts out, so Speakonia it is. As you can probably tell, I've been hitting some speed bumps in my video output. I may have to resort to different video editing software. In the middle of dealing with that, I hear that Chester Bennington of Linkin Park has killed himself. I'm a few days late talking about this, but I had to get my thoughts together. I was in junior high when Linkin Park took off. Me and my friends couldn't get enough. I have very fond memories of Halo 2 LAN parties where we would blast Hybrid Theory and Meteora in their entireties. Eventually I got into the AMV scene. Some of you may remember that the first video I ever uploaded on this channel was my DBZ music video set to Numb. Years later I remastered that video with higher quality footage. It's not a very good video. It was made over the course of a week using QuickTime editing software and with poor quality and limited sources. Years ago I started completely remaking that video the way I had originally imagined it over 10 years ago. For whatever reason I stopped work on it near the end to focus on other things. Given recent events, I have decided to put my other videos on hold and finally finish my Numb remake. While the original video has been re-uploaded to the Chatzu archive, I will be relisting both it and the remastered version on this channel. Rest in peace, Chester. Chatzu signing out.